In this video, we're going to do something a little bit more advanced. We are going to take our car and we're going to do something called a CFD. So that is a computational flow diagram. And what we're trying to do is we are trying to find out how much air is going to flow over and around the profile of the car. So just like the wind tunnel that we use on the iPad that's 2D, we're now going to apply a formula to this that will allow us to see the wind tunnel in 3D. Now all you need to do for this part is have your final idea that you're happy with in Onshape. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to a website called Simscale, simscale.com. And once you've signed up, it's pretty much exactly the same as signing up for Onshape. Once you signed up for Simscale, you're going to go new project and you're going to type it in. So if I just go Derby Racer CFD or Aerodynamics or something like that, and we are going to go Aerodynamics here, and that's just a description. Of course you can do anything you want there, and we're going to create that project. When it creates the project, it's going to ask me, do I want to import anything, because obviously we need to import a 3D model. Now I can import it from a computer, but it also has a little thing here called import from Onshape. So why don't we click that? It's going to ask you to sign in. You're going to sign in using the email address that you use for Onshape. Okay. Now I've actually got one here. It's the Derby Racer, and that's going to open up. And it was assembly 1. So if I have a look here, that's assembly 1 there. You see there's the word assembly 1, and we're going to import that. And when we import it, there is a slight problem with the orientation. And I haven't actually worked out how to do that yet, because I don't want to change the orientation in Onshape. But if you can get your head around that or ignore it, then it shouldn't bother you too much. And if you have a look here at the top, you should see geometries. So if we have a look, and we can bring that, and there is our model. And of course you can move your mouse around to get it into the right orientation. But just ignore the fact that that's all wrong and messed up. So what we're going to do is we're going to just cancel that. And in order for us to create a wind tunnel, we have to create the tunnel. So we've got the object that goes in the tunnel. The next thing we're going to do is create the tunnel around the object, and then we're going to say where the wind's coming from and where the wind leaves. And that's pretty much it. So why don't we go to add geometry operation. To do that, you see where it says assembly 1, click on the 3 lines next to it. Alternatively, right click it, go to add geometry operation and enclosure. So what we're doing, we've got the flow volume extraction, and we're going to create an enclosure for the model. Now let's zoom in. Now we've got a great big Cartesian box here. So what we're going to do is we are going to change the dimensions here. Don't worry about those crazy numbers. They're all in meters, which is a bit of a problem. We're going to change that so that this side is about here. That side is about there. The bottom is slightly below the wheel so that we can see what the airflow looks like underneath. And the top is just above the car. So why don't we go and do that? So if I type in minus 0.08, you can see I've done this before, and x would be 0.03. Oh, look at that. Okay, obviously you're going to have to play around until you get it. So what we've got there is 3 centimeters from that point and minus 8 centimeters from that point. So I think the scale might be a little bit wrong anyway. Okay, let's have a look at the Z. So if you have a look there in the bottom right there, Z is up. So let's change the Z. So here we're going to go to minus 0.01. And here we're going to go to 0.03. 1 is a bit too high, so let's go 0.05. Yeah, 0.05, a little bit higher, I think. I'm going to go a little bit higher and go 0.08. Okay, the next part is, so we're looking at the front now, let's have a look at the side. We're going to do the Y, and we want the Y to start about here, and we want the Y to end a bit further back so we can actually see the drag. Okay, so let's do the Y. So that's minus 0.4, so minus 0.05, perfect. Okay, and here that's a 0.6, so if we actually go 0.3, that's also good. Now it says that we need to pick a face, and this is called the seed face. Try and choose this top one here for the seed face. And so if we go pick face is pink, and we'll just click that. Now it's going to take a little bit of time because what it's doing is it's making this box into a mesh. Okay, so it says it's finished, so we can just cancel that. That's done. Next stage. Now we're into, okay, don't worry about that. If we go to this one here, we can see that the car is definitely there. But if you are worried, what you can do, if you click that, then right click it and hide the face of the flow region. So if you think the flow region is where the air will flow, don't forget we're doing we're calculating the flow here, so we can actually right click that and hide that, right click that and hide that. But we're not going to hide that or that because we actually need those two faces. Now if we go to simulation, we are going to create an incompressible sim. So that would be the air. So we click there, you can see that's what the air flow, and we can't compress the air, okay? So we are going, because we're not going fast enough to compress the air. Okay, so we're going to create that simulation, and that opens up this area here. The next thing is the material. Well, the material is air, so why don't we just click air and apply. And now it's saying, well, where do you want the air to be? And we're saying it's in the flow region. If it wasn't like that, we've got to pick the volume, and you are going to pick that. Another way to do it would be to drop that, just select here. So assembly, and it's the flow region around that assembly. The next part is the boundary. So the boundary is the box we've just done. We're going to go to plus, and we're going to say the velocity inlet. So this is where the air is coming from. The velocity inlet is at the front, so we want the air to be present at the front of the car. So if we just click that face, that's face 33 on my one, and the speed for mine, so if we have a look, we can see that the air is going to go along this direction, and this direction is Y. 20 meters a second. That is it's fast. It's fast air. Okay, so it's simulating a very fast Pinewood derby. Okay, so that's 20. So that means we're starting here and we're going this direction at 20. Okay, and we are going to press save. Now I might need to edit this, so we'll see what happens. Okay, the next one, we've got our air going in. We need the air to be able to come out. So we're going to go pressure outlet. Okay, it's a pressure outlet. We're allowing the air to escape, and it is that face there, and we're just allowing the air to go through. When you're happy with that, you're going to click simulation run, and you are going to press start. Now this is going to take a bit of time. It's going to use their servers. It takes about 20 minutes. You have a limited amount of time that you're allowed to use their servers for before you have to start paying, but 20 minutes is absolutely fine. I think you've got a few hours. Okay, so it's been 22 minutes. If you have quit this program, you'll get an email telling you that it's finished. Alternatively, if you've left it on here, you'll see that it's reached 100% and it's finished, and it will give you this screen here, which allows you to click post process. Now it'll take a few seconds to load up, and you should get a screen that looks a little bit like that. Now that's the enclosure. Inside we can see the car. It's helpful sometimes just to remove this wall so we can actually see the car clearly. In order for you to do that, it's a bit of a juggle with the eyes. So sometimes if we click this button here, we can select the outside. If that makes everything disappear like that, just turn the eye back on. We're looking for the faces that have a low number. So that's 30 on that side, and that's that was it there. Okay, so I can actually click that one, and that one. Leave this one because we actually want to see that. Now let's have a look at the air as it flows over. So if we go to particle traces and click that, press the little plus sign. What we can do is if we go to that, so these are just like how it's colored in. We're going to look at the velocity, so if it's not already selected, select velocity. Cylinders or spheres or comets, any of those will do. Go to seeds, go to pick, and you want to pick something around the middle on that side. Okay, now if you're not seeing anything, have a look here. You see my time is 1000. Sometimes your time might be 0, and that just simply means that time hasn't passed, and therefore the traces haven't gone over the car. So click that next to the dude with the walking stick and just drag that slider to top till that says 1000. Now if we have a look, we can see that we're looking at that side. Now we don't need to move this, but what we're going to do is we're going to increase the count going across and the vertical height. So this is the vertical height, so you can see that's now taller, and that is the sort of width. Okay, so that should be enough to get you started. Okay, now another thing we can have a look is at the pressure zones. So we could probably assume that there's going to be a pressure zone there as that hits the air, and on the wheels, and probably there. Okay, so other things that you can see apart from the airflow are pressure surfaces. So if we have a look at the cutting planes, press plus, and we're going to look at this on the Z. So we're looking at a plane looking down, and then we're just going to lower that away so it's coming down a bit. And if instead of K, if we have a look at Y velocity of the air, we can see that if we're looking at Y velocity, which is what the scalar is here, that would be at the top end. So that's the fast, the 20 meters a second that we said it was going to be. But here we've got we don't have that speed. We've got the blue, so that would be your drag. Now if I lower that down a little bit more, just behind those wheels, you can actually see there's drag there as well. And of course, if we just make that invisible and turn that on, actually let's get rid of that cutting plane and look behind. You can see it's a bit difficult to see at the moment, but you can actually see that these were the flat areas, and of course that would cause drag as the air is coming over.